Welcome to the Life Outside of the Classroom session. My name is Trish Lemmerman, and I'm the Director of Student Affairs and Community Engagement here at the FDU School of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. I'd like to take a moment to welcome you to our Doctor of Pharmacy program. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to review with you what you can do and share some best practices and tips on making the most of your life outside of the classroom while you're enrolled in this program. The first thing I want to mention is school life balance and how important it is for your academic functioning. So what do I mean by that? I'm sure you've heard in your previous programs at your previous institutions to make sure that you are balancing your academics and your extracurriculars, your involvement, your families, your friends, but that's much different at this level. Graduate work in itself tends to be taxing, but the pharmacy program brings that to a new level. The amount of material that you need to absorb in such a short amount of time can be overwhelming for students. So over the course of the first few weeks, I really suggest talking to your student ambassadors, other students in cohorts previous to you, and some of your classmates to figure out what they're doing to really balance everything in their lives. You may feel overwhelmed, but just know that you're not alone. And we're going to go over some tips in the next few slides, and I'm going to review with you some of the important factors of maintaining that balance. So 4 pieces to ensure a good school life balance are your academics, your personal relationships, work, and your priorities. All 4 of those kind of work together. So your academics will tend to decline if they're not prioritized over personal relationships and work. Your work will decline if you're focusing too much on academics, and your personal relationships, if you're focusing on those other pieces and not explaining that, will cause strain. You may see that people are not understanding. So it's really hard for those outside of the School of Pharmacy to really understand what you're going through. So make sure that you're having open conversations. Make sure that you're talking to your faculty members to ensure that your academics are staying where they need to be. If you receive your first exam grade or you have a quiz and that grade is not where you want it to be, talk to your faculty members. Oftentimes I hear from students that they were worried about talking to their faculty members because they didn't want to admit that they were struggling, and they didn't want the faculty members to think that they couldn't handle it. But our faculty here are really engaged with our students, and they want to see our students succeed. Everyone at the School of Pharmacy wants to see you succeed. So make sure that you're having those conversations. No one is judging you if you are struggling. We're here to help you, and we have a lot of different opportunities for support. Our faculty members are great. They have office hours. They are willing to review your exams with you and really help you to focus in on what you may be struggling with. As far as personal relationships, have those conversations starting today. Talk to your family and friends about what you're going to be going through, and that you may need to prioritize this program over those relationships for a little while until you really find your groove and figure out what works for you and what works best. And work. A lot of students come in thinking that they can continue to work the same amount of hours that they worked prior to starting this program. And for many people, that works, but for many, it's not the case. I sit on the academic progression committee where we meet with students after they have failed courses or after their GPAs have dropped below a 2.75. And many times students are working way too many hours. So you can talk to your student ambassadors, but the advice that I had heard from those ambassadors in years past, and I continue to hear from student leaders, is to work with your job and let them know that you're starting this program, that you need to reduce your hours. And then as you begin to find your groove, then you can add on to those hours. For some students, it may mean that you can't work at all. You may not have any time for anything other than this program. For others, you can slowly begin to increase as you figure out your study techniques, what's working for you, and ensuring that you're getting the grades that you need to get in order to have that 2.75 or above and be successful in this program. That may mean that you talk to your employer and just let them know, listen, I need to cut my hours in half, and I'll let you know monthly how to increase those hours. So be open and honest with your job. Don't try to manage your job at the expense of your academics. You're here to become a pharmacist. That is what you are enrolled in this program for, and that needs to be your number one priority. And that leads me to my last point, which is setting priorities. So you are going to be in different roles in your life. You may be a mother or a father and a pharmacy student and an employee, and you need to figure out what those roles look like and what those roles are going to look like over the next 4 years, because they may be different than what they look like right now. And setting priorities. Is this program above your job? If it's not, then you may need to reevaluate that. Is your job above your family relationships, and are you okay with that? And is your family okay with that? And is that something that, you know, maybe you need to? Many people have to work for various reasons. So making sure that, again, that open communication is going to be really important to balance these 4 things. So how do you find that balance? Again, I would go with our students' feedback to err on the side of caution and reduce everything else in your life and slowly increase that as you find that balance. But these are some tips from some of our previous students and things that we've heard from students that have worked for them. The number one thing is setting your schedule for the week, for the month. Many students rely on planners or their iCal, Google Cal, Outlook calendar, whatever you use, to, as soon as you get your syllabi, putting everything in it, marking when you have an exam, setting the times that you need to study, setting reminders for your studying and your exams, so that you know that you're getting a notification, you know that you have that coming up, so that you're on top of it. And it's not a surprise that on Sunday night, you're remembering that you have a cardio exam on Monday, and now you have to remember all of this material. So making sure that you know what's coming up, reviewing that frequently so that you can see, okay, on Saturday night, I review everything. I review my schedule for the upcoming week. So I know that I have a quiz in calculations, and I know that I have a cardio exam coming up the following Monday. So I need to set time this week to really study that material and review, you know, my lecture slides from week 1 and week 2, and really making it very detailed as possible. And that's going to help minimize your stress. So the more you can break your larger tasks into smaller tasks is going to make your life a lot easier. Getting organized. So again, going back to those calendars, making sure you're laying everything out. The sooner you do that, the easier it's going to be over the next 4 years. Making time for your personal health. So again, remembering that this is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You are making a huge commitment. But you also need to take time for yourself. So whatever that means for you, whatever that looks like for you, if that means going to the gym, and after classes end every day, you go to the gym for an hour before you go home and start studying. If you go home and you take a walk with your family, whatever that looks like for you, just making sure that you're taking time for yourself, you're eating, you're drinking enough water, and you're doing whatever that you need to do to kind of clear your mental space. Make sure that physically you're taken care of. And if you're not, please reaching out and letting us know. Using your support system. So your family and friends, again, are a great support system, but they may not understand what you're going through unless they themselves have been through a pharmacy program. So your best support system is going to be the students who have been through this already and the students who are going through this with you. So relying on your cohort, relying on the cohorts before you, and really reaching out to them and asking them for their tips and tricks and their best advice on how to get through. But also, again, that open communication with your family and friends so that they can support you and letting them know how to support you. So it may be having a conversation with the people that you live with to say, I really need your support. And the best way for you to support me is that between the hours of 6 and 8 every night, I need you to make sure that you are leaving me alone. If I'm up in my room studying, that no one is distracting me. I need that time for myself and I cannot be distracted. So that may be what that support looks like. And that may be different than what it's looked like in previous years. It may be saying, I need you to hold me accountable and make sure that you're calling me every night at 9 p.m. to make sure that I have stopped studying so that I can get enough sleep. So using that support system, making sure they're holding you accountable, using the in-house support system that we have here for you to check in, make sure that you're where you need to be, talking to faculty, staff, and other students for advice on how to study. Your faculty members will also be able to guide you on, some things that they've seen work with their own material and how students have studied their own material, and reaching out to them to say, I'm having a hard time breaking down your lecture notes. Do you have any suggestions for me? Or I'm really having a hard time with this set of information. Can you give me some feedback? Another important piece is rewarding yourself. So after a big exam, after you've studied, or you've maybe made it through the whole week doing everything that you had intended to do on that schedule, and you've checked it all off and you've completed it, rewarding yourself, whether that's 30 minutes of Netflix, whether that's, going out with friends for dinner. Make sure that you set up a reward system so that you feel accomplished. And again, breaking those larger tasks down into smaller tasks and checking those off can be really rewarding in itself. Just seeing things being crossed off of a checklist oftentimes helps students feel motivated. And last, and the most important piece, is reaching out when you feel like you can't handle something. So can't stress that enough. I see it all the time with students who, again, end up meeting with our progression committee, that they've thought that they could handle it and they didn't want others to know. So reach out if something happens in your personal life. We've seen, loss of family members, issues with relationships, other family or just other priorities that have to take precedence come up. Please let us know. Reach out to the deans, reach out to your faculty, your staff, your program advisors, whoever that person is for you. Reach out and let us know. If you have an exam coming up and there is a major crisis going on, please let us know. There may be a way for us to work something out. You never know unless you ask. So if there is something traumatic going on in your life, just tell someone, talk to your faculty members, talk to your staff members. We can't help you if we don't know. So that is something that I will stress. We also have resources here on campus. If you feel like you need to speak to someone outside of the School of Pharmacy, we have a great counseling services team that we work with, that many of our students will utilize on the main campus, that can provide some mental health support and some guidance in that area. So please just reach out, let us know if you need something, and we'll be able to help you make those connections where they're needed. Again, I talked about this earlier. Again, that healthy lifestyle plan, making sure that you're taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, exercising, eating healthy, making time for yourself, recognizing when you're experiencing too much stress. So again, reaching out if you are overwhelmed, if you are stressed, please just come and talk to somebody. We can't help you if we don't know what's going on. So make sure that you are keeping yourself healthy, because if you are not getting enough sleep, you're not going to be able to retain the information in class. If you're not eating, you're not going to be able to concentrate. So it all really ties together, and it seems so almost juvenile to have to say that to students at a graduate level, but you are going to be overwhelmed by the amount of material and just the lifestyle change that this is going to that's going to take place over the next few weeks. So please make sure that you're taking care of yourself. It's already a very stressful time with everything going on in the world, and the unknown, right? We've so much over the past few months just experienced this world of unknown, and back and forth, and not sure what the next week is going to bring in terms of, are we going to be virtual? Are we going to be in person? Are we going into another lockdown? So it's just a stressful time already. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, again, whatever that looks like. And if you are stressed, please do not wait to reach out and talk to somebody. So now that you have learned how to balance your life, you're feeling confident, you want to get involved, you have your academics under control, you are ready to figure out what you can do, how you can get involved, how to make the most of your experience here at the Doctor of Pharmacy program. So one of the best ways to do that is through involvement. One of the first things that you will hear more about during your Beyond the Curriculum class is your co-curricular pathway program. So the pathway program is set up. You will be required to attend events throughout the year. You'll be able to choose them using the pathways on RxEngage that you're currently using for orientation. You'll be invited to a co-curricular pathway program, and there will be programs in 5 categories: think, communicate, advocate, lead, and implement. They are all mapped back to our CAPE outcomes, which is the learning outcomes given to us by our accreditation board, and to our classes. So co-curricular, by definition, are programs that are enhancing what's happening inside the classroom. So you're learning that's occurring in the classroom. Our co-curricular programs, we want to advance that, we want to enhance that, and we want you to be able to take what you're learning in the classroom and kind of put it to practice and see it in practice through these pathways. So you will be required to complete a pathway program each year. You have from now until May to complete it. We will actively release new events, new programs that will help you to work towards that completion. And there'll be 2 brief assessments that you have to do as well. So this is a great way to start getting involved. It makes you think about what you want to do. You kind of design this on your own. We'll give you the programs. You get to choose from a menu of programs what you want to complete. And you can do those based on your interests. We encourage students to use this program to kind of build on what they're interested in and focus in on certain areas that they may want to explore. Then we have our student organizations. So currently we have 7 student organizations, 1 that is pending national approval. We have our American Pharmacists Association, which is our largest organization. They're kind of an umbrella organization that students from all different areas of pharmacy will go to. This is the largest organization nationally as well. And this is a great way if you're not sure where you want to go, what areas of pharmacy you want to get involved with. This is a great organization to start exploring that. They're also involved very heavily on a national level with policy and change in the government. So this is, if you're interested in pharmacy policy and making changes, this is also the organization to start getting involved in. Then we have our industry pharmacist organization. So for those of you interested in industry, National Community Pharmacist Association for students who are interested in community pharmacy, opening their own pharmacy. NCPA is that organization for you. Our Student Society of Health Systems Pharmacists. If you've heard of NJSHP, this is the national organization, student organization for NJSHP or ASHP. These are students who are interested in going into hospital pharmacy and health system pharmacy. Our Student Pharmacists Association is our internal organization. This is the student organization that runs our mentor-mentee program, and they focus a lot on the social aspect of being a student pharmacist and what's going on at FDU. This is your sounding board for feedback. They'll provide feedback to the staff here for you, and really are the voice of the student body. Then we have our Rokai Society, which is our honor society. There is nothing that you need to do in order to be invited for Rokai, other than having a GPA that is in the top, I believe, 6% of the cohort. Roughly around 16 to 17 students each year are invited. You will be eligible for this following the fall semester of your P2 year, and you'll receive an email saying that you have been invited to join the Rokai Society. And then our last organization that is currently pending approval is the American Association of Pharmaceutical Scientists for students who are interested in research in the pharmaceutical field. This organization provides that experience for you. So you can find out more about all of these organizations by utilizing our RX Engage page. You'll see pictures, you'll see the eBoard members. You can email them directly through that website and send a message to them saying you're interested, you'd like to get more information. And they'll also be present through Beyond the Curriculum, and we'll also be having some club fairs over the course of the first few weeks of school as well, where you'll be able to meet more members of these organizations and find out more about the events that they've held, their mission, and figure out which organizations are right for you. Other opportunities for involvement. So we have our student ambassadors, which are similar to orientation leaders. They are the face of the program. They'll help out during orientation. They're assigned your groups. They're a great resource for you throughout your first year. They'll also assist during open houses and other events that we host throughout the year where we want student leaders to be present. Our student office assistants assist in the student affairs department. They will help with setting up events, working with faculty members to run events, and really are similar to our student workers. So this is a paid position, but it's a great way to get involved, make a little bit of money, but also get to know some faculty and staff on a different level. We have various committees throughout the year that range from academic committees, co-curricular committees, where we want student voices in everything that we're doing here at the FDU School of Pharmacy. So students are invited to apply to be their cohort representative on various committees. So you'll receive that notification within the first few weeks of school, and you can apply to sit on a committee, again, working directly with faculty and staff to make decisions on what is being done in the program and give the student feedback. So if there's something that is not going well in the curriculum, or you want to provide feedback on a class, you are that representative on a committee to be able to share that. Student scholars with our service learning courses. So we offer 3 service learning courses, and our student scholars are students who have taken a service learning course already and are serving almost like a teaching assistant. They are there to assist with the service learning. They are there to serve as a leader at the service sites so that you know what to do, and you can come to them with any concerns that you have, and they're kind of guiding you through your experience. And then last is faculty mentored research. So working with your faculty members to complete various research projects. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you're interested in being involved in research, ask right away. We'll have a session during orientation about how to get involved in research, so you can learn more about that. But these are some great opportunities to get involved outside of student organizations and the co-curricular pathway. So next, I want to just review with you the RxEngage software. I know that you've been using it for orientation, but you'll be using it, like I said, for your co-curricular pathways. And this is really the main software system for involvement. So this is where you'll be able to find out about internships, scholarships, job opportunities, and student organizations. So we're going to switch over to that software so I can show you a little bit more about RxEngage and walk you through that platform briefly. So this is your RxEngage system. You should have received a link to join your class page. You should be navigating orientation through this website. So I'm just going to briefly go over everything that you can do on RxEngage so that you can see how to navigate it and how to utilize this software to make the most of your 4 years here. So first, on your main page, you're going to see up top these yellow bars. These are our alerts. So the most important things, the most recent things that are occurring are going to be up here. Typically, we have an event of the week that we advertise for. Our social media pages pretty much stay static. And then right now you can see that we are hiring 4 student office assistants for P2s and P3s. Probably in the spring semester, we may open that up to P1 students. But we really want to give you some time to get acclimated to campus life first before opening up this position for you. But you'll see here, these 3 things, just always when you're logging in, just check them, see if it's something new, if it's new information, a new form that maybe you need to fill out, an application for a scholarship, that'll all be up here. The next section is going to show your memberships. Right now, you might only be seeing your class of 2025 page. Our student organizations will utilize this software system to accept you into the organization once you've paid your dues. So some of the organizations do have dues associated with them. So once you have paid those membership dues, they'll accept you into the organization, and then they'll be listed here. You can see I have a lot of various memberships because I'm running the page. As you continue to scroll down, you'll see our events. So I went over this briefly during the overview for orientation. But if you check into an event and you RSVP to an event, first, you're going to see what's up next for you, and then you're going to see the next 4 events coming up at the institution. So again, if you click on View More Events, it's going to open up the full events calendar. So we'll go into that calendar in a minute. Then you're going to see the latest news. So you can see here that we have pharmacist positions open, internship positions open, supervisors. So these, you're always going to see 3 news articles back up at the top of the page, and I'll show you what that looks like. You're going to be able to find a lot more information and a lot more news that's going on. And then some important campus links. Any pathways that you're involved in are going to show up here. And then here are links to our main website and page. So scrolling back to the top, you'll notice the menu at the top has home, events, organizations, news, and forms. So we're going to go through each of these briefly so that you can see what they look like. So we're going to click on events first. So again, this is your calendar of events. You can search for events for keywords. So let's say I want to search for financial. So any events that are dealing with financial are going to come up. Again, this is an easy way to search for things that you're interested in using keywords. You can see dates and times. Specifically, you can find events that are online only. The themes we really don't use, so I don't suggest searching by themes. And then categories. This is the big one that you'll want to use. I'm going to go into show past events. If you see categories, you're going to see a lot of them. So in our past events, all of our events were categorized. We have interprofessional events. And here is where you're going to see your pathways. So when you go in your pathways, this is a way to search for events that fulfill some of your pathway requirements. So if you're looking for an event that fulfills your implement pathway, you're going to be able to click on that and see anything that is coming up. So again, I'm showing you past events, but you navigate it the same way for your future events. And I will go over this more during beyond the curriculum. So utilizing categories right now, new student orientation is all that we're offering. But as we fill up the semester calendar, you're going to see more categories pop up here. You'll also be able to see which student organizations are hosting it. So all of these are hosted by the FDU School of Pharmacy. But once you click into an event, you'll be able to see date, time, location. You'll also be able to see the organization. And if you click on this, it's going to bring you to the organization page. And you'll also see other events that are hosted by that organization. Going into organizations, clicking at the top on this menu button up here, you can see all of our organizations that are open to students. Clicking on their page, you can then see their mission statement. You can see a photo gallery. You could see how much their dues are, how much their annual membership is, if their chapter meetings are open to all students, and their current officers, and all of the events that they have coming up. Up here, you'll have a contact button. You can use that contact button to email whoever they have set up to let them know, hey, I'm interested in this organization. And it's going to pop up here. You're going to send this directly through here to say, I'm interested in getting involved. And then you're going to type your email and send that message directly to this primary contact. That student will then be able to email you back and answer any questions that you may have. And again, most organizations will utilize this platform to manage their membership. So once you pay your dues, then you'll have access to their full page and you'll be invited in as a member of that page. The next section, which is a super important section that I think a lot of students don't take full advantage of, is our news section. So our news section is really utilized to advertise pharmacists, pharmacy positions, internships, webinars that are coming up, anything that may be able to assist you moving forward in your career. So you'll see here we have color-coded icons. So our blue icon is our career development. So anytime you see a blue icon, that is for some sort of position or opening or webinar for careers. In red are our scholarships and grants. So if you're interested in a scholarship, this is a scholarship for women in science. You're going to go ahead and click on this, and it's going to give you all the information, what the scholarship's name is, who it's offered by, a description, and then the link to the application, and you'll see the deadlines there. Similar, you can click on positions. It's going to give you some information about the job, a description, and the link to find more information about those positions. So all of that information you can utilize here. This is going to open up a document of what was sent to us so that you can see all of the full information that the organization sent to us. So what the requirements are and when it needed to be posted. A lot of students, I think, overlook this news section, but it's critically important. So if you are interested in an internship, you can type that in. You'll see every internship that we have being offered, the dates that they're being offered, and and you can click into those to find more information. If you're interested in a specific company, you can type that in, and you'll see anything that has been sent to us by Walgreens, it will pop up. So if the word Walgreens is in the description or in the job title, that will all be pulled, and you'll see everything that we have to offer with certain organizations. The last section up at the top is our forms section. Right now, there are no community forms, but if there is an application for committees, that's where you're going to find that. You're going to go into forms and fill that out. So that is your main homepage. That is the top menu. The other pieces that I want to review with you briefly are your paths. So again, just like orientation, you go into your paths, you can see your new student orientation. You'll be invited to a class of 2025 co-curricular page. Again, you track your progress the same as you do with orientation. You'll be able to see attend an event, completing LASI, so on and so forth. And then the other piece, the other pathway that you'll have access to is your perks program pathway. So in an effort to encourage you to get involved and to reward students for getting involved, as we know that it is a huge undertaking for students in this program to get involved, we've developed a perks program. So as you attend events, you'll see that I've completed 5 perks events. This is going to get a check mark. So level 1 is a card magnet. So once you have 100%, you come to the student affairs office and we'll give you a card magnet. Level 2 is a drawstring bag. Level 3, which is attending 15 events, and you'll be able to track how many you are, how many you have left. Through here, we do it in increments of 5. So I know that I've attended 10 events, but I haven't yet attended 15 events. So I'm somewhere in between 10 and 15. That'll be checked off as I complete them. Students who are eligible, once you hit that 15 mark, get to choose from a wireless charger or a portable power bank. So we go on and on. We'll go over this during Beyond the Curriculum. We have tickets, receiving white coats and name tags for free, registration for different conferences, extra tickets at ceremonies, recognition at student awards recognition. And then as you're redeeming these items, we'll also mark you off so that we know that you've already received your car magnet, so that you don't come back in and try to get a second car magnet. I mean, if you really want to, that's awesome. But drawstring bag, wireless chargers, etc. So these will go on and be cumulative throughout the year. So those are our pathways. Again, I'm going to go back to the homepage. This menu button up here, you'll be able to see all the events that you've attended in your event history. So this is everything that you've attended. You'll be able to see all your memberships. And the other important piece is your co-curricular transcript. So again, something that is not fully utilized by our students, but is a great way to keep track of what you've done for 4 years, so that when it comes time to updating your resume, your CV, applying for residencies, fellowships, you have all of your involvement right here for you. You can export this as a PDF. If you click on it, it's going to populate this very well organized PDF with the school's logo, the school colors, the dates that you were involved in different organizations. So it'll tell you your position. If you were on an organization, if you had a leadership position, that'll be listed, and the dates that you held those positions. Scrolling down, you'll see events. So any events that you were participated in will be listed here, and your faculty mentored poster presentation. So things that you self-report will also be listed here. So your CPR training, your HIPAA OSHA training, those will all show up at the bottom here under your presentations. There'll be another section for your HIPAA OSHA training, another section for LASI training. So you'll be able to show all of that. The great thing about this transcript is that you can customize it. So looking at my involvement, if I wanted to prioritize, let's say I was applying for a residency. So I really wanted to show that I was a member of the Student Society of Health Systems Pharmacy. I can move this up and prioritize it. So now when I export it, the first involvement that shows up on this transcript is going to be the Student Society of Health Systems Pharmacy. Export that, and now up at the top is the Student Society of Health Systems Pharmacists. So if you are interested in customizing this to show where your interests lie, this is the way to do that. The same thing can be done with your events. So if you are applying for a position that is heavy in HIV and AIDS treatment, you may want to prioritize that and move your HIV and AIDS, New Jersey AIDS Services participation up. If you want to show cultural competency, if that's something that is important to an organization, again, you can move these up. So you can provide this as a supplement. You can just utilize this to help you kind of organize your involvement in priority order for you. The other thing you can do is hide the things. So let's say I want to export this because I want to provide it as a supplemental document to an employer, or I just want to show it in a portfolio. But being a part of the class of 2025, 2024 isn't really important to what I'm trying to apply to. So you can go ahead and you can hide that. So now when you save this document, that class of 2024 is no longer going to show up. You'll see that 2022, 21, class of 2024 is no longer listed on my page. So that is another way you can kind of remove memberships, remove involvement. If there's an event that you attended that you don't really think is super important, you can also remove that as well. When you go into your events history, all your events will always be there. Your memberships, that will always be there. But for the sake of this transcript and being able to export this and use this as a standalone document, you have full range to completely customize this document. And again, if you've submitted something, the submissions tab is going to show you what the status is. If it's been approved, the date that it was completed and approved. You can also go in and kind of view anything, print out any forms that you have submitted. If you're a member of an organization, any elections that you've participated in, registering any organizations and the events that you have submitted. So if you're on an organization, you're submitting an event, you can see the status and you can check on all of your statuses through your submission. So that's a little bit about RX Engage. Again, we'll go over it more in detail during Beyond the Curriculum, but it's really your portal and your go-to for all involvement. Utilizing the Cork app that I talked about in the orientation overview will also help you navigate student organizations and events. Some of those other pieces are not available through Cork, so the website is really going to be what you want to check. Most of our students are on RX Engage once a week or once every other week to just make sure that they know what's coming up. We are constantly updating events and approving new events, so be sure to check pretty regularly to make sure you're not missing out on any opportunities, especially co-curricular opportunities that you'd be able to attend to get the credit where you need it. So if you have any questions, always stop by the Student Affairs office, reach out to myself, Justin Zombik, who is our Student Affairs counselor, and we'd be happy to help you with anything that you may want to get involved in. If there is something that you're interested in that maybe you've seen in another institution, you have friends at another institution, and you want to know if we can implement it here at FDU, please reach out. We are always open to new ideas. And as long as it's something that we think we can make work, we are happy to work with you to make that happen. All of the organizations that you've seen listed today, all of the opportunities that you've heard about today have all come from student feedback. So students have said, I'm interested in pharmaceutical research. So that is why we have a new pending national organization that has rolled out. Our students have said, I'm interested in hospital pharmacy. That organization, we worked with the national organization to get the charter for that chapter. So anything you're interested in, please let us know. Our service learning courses were developed out of student interest. Students wanted to get to know patient populations a little bit better outside of a textbook and really get some hands-on experience. So we've developed service learning opportunities. So there is so much that we are willing to do, so much that we don't know about or that students are interested in, but we need to hear from you. So please don't hesitate to stop by, shoot us an email. We can hop in Zoom, we can meet up on campus, whatever you are comfortable with, whatever works best for your schedule. We are always here for you and interested in what you want to bring to the campus. So can't wait to meet you during orientation and over the course of the next 4 years. Again, our Student Affairs office is located right on the second floor of the building, which is the first floor you walk into. And we are always here for you for anything that you may need. All right, take care and we'll see you soon.